there's a lot of TV shows coming out from Poland, but they're like only on Polish TV and they're usually quite rubbish. So I thought it's going to be one of those. But when I found out it's Netflix, I was like, yeah, I'll take the deal. It has changed music a lot because now the stupider the song is, the more it's probably going to blow up. Absolutely insane that now my cheapest song is my most popular one, and my most expensive song is the least popular one. I went back home and asked him, "Hey, when can I come back to finish the song with you?" He said, "Oh, I'm quite busy. I'm flying to South Africa, blah blah blah." Like a week later, I see on his Instagram story he tagged me saying that the album is coming out with the song with me. I was like, "What's that about?" So I go on the album, the song is there. I'm a feature, and I'm not even in the credits. That's silent. I don't know why people like actually genuinely like that song a lot. I hate it.
Hey, if you're like me and you're interested in the YouTube or creator space, you should check out The Publish Press. The Publish Press is a completely free newsletter founded by YouTubers Colin and Samir. They host their own podcast talking to some of YouTube's largest creators. They've edited some of the best content I've seen on YouTube, and now they're sharing their knowledge about the YouTube space with you for free. The Publish Press comes out 3 times a week, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, with everything going on with your favorite creators and platforms. And like I said, it's completely free. Just enter your email address to receive the Publish Press whenever it comes out, and that's it. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description below, sign up to the Publish Press, and get all the info you need on the industry. He's a 20-year-old singer-songwriter from Poland who competed on The Voice of Poland. He's also been featured on Spotify's Fresh Finds and Zimafi Chill playlist, as well as appeared on Netflix's show Infamia. Please welcome Daniel Hawes to the podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, mate. Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor. It's my first podcast, so I'm really excited. I was really buzzing for it.
That's
So
great.
yeah.
I'm so glad you agreed to come on here as your first podcast appearance. And so the first question that I usually ask artists who come on is just like, what was your first experience with music, or what made you like find a passion for music or want to pursue it?
All right. Well, yeah. So my entire family are musicians. Everybody plays at least one instrument and sings. I got my biggest musical inspirations were actually my dad and my grandpa, that unfortunately recently passed away. But yeah, he was my biggest inspiration because when back in the '60s, he recorded his own vinyl, his own songs, and really tried to push on to get on somewhere. And he'd play in pubs and various pubs and karaoke places like that. And then my dad as well, he recorded his own songs, tried to dabble in music production and all that. Obviously, decided to leave that alone and look after his family and all that. But yeah, so it's all in the family. I've always been surrounded by music and musicians and music in general. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. Well, I'm sorry to hear about your grandfather, but I
Yeah.
mean, like how young did this passion sort of start for you? Like, was there anything else you were thinking of doing or trying to pursue as a career, or was it just music from the start?
Yeah, well, no. Music was definitely my main passion since I was like probably 4 or something. Since
Mhm.
I can remember, I've always been standing by the piano with my mum while she'd play some songs, and always try to sing. I'd always be part of all the school choirs and performances like that. So I've always had a passion for that. I also caught up, quite a started doing photography when I was like probably like 14, 13, maybe something like that. Might be even younger. So I always liked artistic and creative stuff like that. So I also did photography for a few years. I quit that a few years ago to really focus on music, but now I'm thinking of picking that up again. But we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it was always music, and I used to play sports as well, like football, which is soccer in America. I used to do that for a few years, but music was always there. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And so if there's another artist who sort of like has discovered music as their passion or wants to go for it and wants to try to get a career, tips or advice would you give to them?
Yeah, well, definitely not allowing anybody to tell you that it's impossible. It sounds really cliche and like everybody says that, but until you're put in a position where somebody tells you, "Oh, don't do it," then you realize, or as soon as you find any minor success, even that's when you realize I really shouldn't be listening to those people. I've been told many times, even by my own family, even though they're really supportive, they'd always try to make me more of try to put a realistic idea into my head that it's
Yeah.
not as easy as it seems. That I should really focus on a normal job and my education, but I never let that put me down. I always pushed anyway, and after a while, I did prove some people wrong, which was a really good feeling. But definitely not allowing anybody to tell you elsewise, uh, and just really pushing towards what you're trying to get, and yeah, and but also being able to accept criticism, and even if it's like actual criticism and actually people hating on you and telling you that your music's rubbish and all that, try to twist that into something positive and trying to just work on your songs so that they're better and better every single time. So definitely that, not quitting.
Are you a music artist trying to find a way to get your music on as many streaming platforms as possible? Then check out DistroKid. DistroKid is a super user-friendly and super easy-to-use service that will make your music available in stores like Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Amazon Music, YouTube, Snapchat, everything. Everything you could imagine, it's available. People will even be able to add your songs into their Instagram stories. DistroKid helps you with the distribution, monetization, and promotion of all of your music. Use the link in the description of this video for 7% off any DistroKid package you want. Pick from musician packages designed to help artists get their own music out there, or even get a label package where you can manage up to 100 artists from one profile. So that's more for like managers, labels, and you can also get the musician package that I mentioned earlier, which is more for artists, producers, things like that. It's super easy, and you can get 7% off any package right now with the link in the description of this video. So once again, if you're looking for a way to get your music on as many streaming platforms as possible, I'm talking any platform you can think of, get DistroKid and get 7% off right now with the link in the description. Back to the program. On top of music, which I mean, you've done a great job at so far, but you've also acted and starred in Netflix's Infamia. What was that like? And do you have any other like, is acting something you want to get into more?
Um, yeah, that was a funny one because I'm not an actor. I've never acted in anything except my school plays. But it was funny story with that because I was on The Voice. It was my last episode I was in. It was my live show, and so I knew that I was gonna be out in that episode already because all my other teammates and people that were also participating there were absolutely crazy. The contestants were absolutely crazy. So I knew I'd be leaving that episode, but I was very lucky because a quite popular movie director and a music video director saw me live on TV at her mum's place, and she thought that I looked kind of like a gypsy, which is funny because I don't have any gypsy heritage or anything like that. I'm just British and Polish. So I was like, all right, fair enough. So she messaged me. She had her agent message me and asking me basically if I'd like to play in a show. She didn't even mention that was Netflix. They're not really allowed to say that at the beginning. She
Yeah.
just said, "Do you want to play as an actor in a Polish TV show, being one of the main actors?" And I was like, "That's a bit off. That's a bit weird." And I didn't really want to accept the offer at the beginning because I thought it was just going to be some rubbish Polish TV show. But
Yeah.
I ended up accepting the offer and coming into for the audition, and that's when I found out it was for Netflix. So the thing is that I was supposed to play the main character in this TV show called Infamy, in Polish Infamia, just like you said. But in English, it is translated in English as well. It's called Infamy, and I was supposed to be the main character. But eventually, after going through all the casting auditions, I didn't get the part, but they offered me to sing a song. So I offered them to write an original one for the show. So that's what I did, and they also put me in there as like a cameo or something like that. So that was a very cool experience, but it was 100% luck. It was nothing else to do with talent or anything like that. It was just pure luck, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah. But so beforehand, you just thought it was going to be like some small like indie film or something. You didn't know at first that it was going to be for Netflix or like on this
Yeah,
huge scale.
yeah, exactly. Because we do have there's a lot of TV shows coming out from Poland, but they're like only on Polish TV, and they're usually quite rubbish. So I thought it's going to be one of those, but when I found out it's Netflix, I was like, yeah, I'll take the deal. I'm like, that's
Who can say
that's
no to
cool.
Netflix? Um,
Exactly.
and so now, like, I mean, you even mentioned it when your grandfather tried getting into music. It was mostly like vinyl, trying to get radio play or get to a label, and now it's a lot more like artist made or independent. Like
Mm.
it seems like almost anyone can just sort of blow up overnight and like get a following. So what do you think about this like, social media like independent form of the music industry?
Well, I mean, I have a lot of friends that have blown up and are independent, and they're making money out of it. And I also have friends that are signed, have record deals and all that. It really depends on how you look at it and um your current status and how well you're doing on your own. Because, for example, for me, if I got an offer from a record label, I'd probably accept it because I don't have my own money to put into music videos and songs. Like I do sometimes, but then it's maybe one song a year. And to blow up and to have gain a fan base, you really need to be systematic, and you have to upload songs regularly. So that would help me. But if you have the money and you have the talent to produce your own songs on a very high level, then I would probably advise somebody like that not to sign immediately until they get like a really good offer. As you can see, obviously the main big artists are all signed to major labels, but the beginning were really rocky for them. Like they didn't get that much, and only after years of grinding and getting a fan base, they were able to negotiate a about an offer. But so it really depends. If you don't have any money, sign a deal. If you get one, if you have the money and are able to release without a record label, or at least having a distribution contract with them, then do that. And so yeah.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like independent musicians that are blowing up on TikTok, really depends. There's a few that annoy me. I'm not gonna obviously name any names,
Yeah, you don't have to.
um, but it's just like yeah, it's a bit too easy. You've got a lot of artists that are not talented and blowing up, and then you've got artists that are extremely talented and have just an amazing voice, but don't blow up. And it's a lot of luck, and it has changed music a lot because now the stupider the song is, and the more simple the song is, the more it's probably going to blow up, which is just
Yeah, it's become almost like
unfortunate.
formulaic to a sense.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
a lot of
exactly,
these
exactly.
songs getting popular kind of sound the same. So
Mm.
for you, when you're coming up with a new song, what is that process like, or how do you keep your songs different from all these songs that sound the same?
Well, the main thing is to keep in mind that there's no such thing as originality anymore, unfortunately. Everything that you'll do is been done before. Even when it comes to chords, there's only a certain amount of chords you can use for a song, and the songs have been coming out for years and years, so there's no way of getting an original chord progression or melody. So everything is similar to another song in some way, but But that doesn't matter. That doesn't mean you can't write a new song, and doesn't mean that your song won't blow up because it's nothing original. What keeps the song original is obviously your voice, the lyrics, and everything else in production. But the way I write a song is I try my best to always use my own stories, like real stories, not just made up fantasies or something like that. It's sometimes good to use that or mix it in together to make something really good. But the best songs come out from your own personal experiences. And so then I just take random four chords or something, or just mess around with the guitar, trying to find a riff, or use the piano to find some chords, and then I just start making up a top line, which is the main singing melody of the song. I try to make up that first, and then on top of that, I write the lyrics, and then we go and produce. And then producing the song, obviously, I'm not a producer myself. I've tried to dabble in that before, but it didn't really work out. I'm not that good at it, so I just have somebody else do it for me by co-produce it with them. So then the production can change the song entirely. For example, not recently, some time ago, I wrote a song which is sort of like ballady and was just on the guitar really slowly, played very slowly, and then my mate that I work with, he took the song and made a, an absolute bang out of it, something like David Guetta would do. So just good drums and bass, and made it sort of like a clubby song. So
Yeah.
I'm waiting so I can release that. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that seems like it'd be awesome, and especially like almost that like two sounds of it. Like I'm sure you'll probably still
Mhm.
be able to hear the like,
Yeah,
guitar ballad sound, but then also have like an upbeat part of it. So I think that's really cool.
yeah,
And
exactly.
is there a song of yours that you have released that sort of defied your expectations in the sense that like it took off and did better than you thought it did, or something you were really confident in that like didn't do as well?
Yeah, basically every single song of mine. So every single song of mine, I thought, oh, it's such a good song, it's such a bang. I'll release it, and then I'll release it, and it has like 1,000 views, and I spent like $2,000 on the production and on the music video and everything, and didn't really blow up. And then I have my song titled Apple Cake that I wrote. I had the main melody of it written like years ago, and then uh, asked my friend, "Hey, do you want to write a song?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure." So I just took that melody, we wrote some lyrics together, and we spent maybe less than $200 on the production. Less than $200 on the production, and that's the song that blew up the most. That gave us all the streams and gave us all the attention, which is absolutely insane. That my cheapest song is my most popular one, and my most expensive song is the least popular one. So
Yeah, it's just
it's
there's
a
just no
it's a
way to
gamble.
predict.
Yeah, it's a gamble, and it doesn't even matter if you promote it or not, because all my other songs are promoted for weeks and weeks and even months. I've promoted it and nothing came out of it. And then with this song, I didn't even promote it. I thought it was going to be a failure, but I just wanted to release something, and yeah, and just pure luck. It got onto Spotify playlists and just kept going.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's
awesome. And
just a
and
gamble.
and so maybe it is this, maybe it is Apple Cake or any of your other songs, but if there's someone who hasn't heard your music before, who's like, interested and wants to get into your
Mm.
music, what song would you recommend to them as sort of like an introduction to Daniel Hawes?
Okay, an introduction. I would say I'm Sorry or Part-Time Lovers, but maybe Applecake as well, because most of my songs are ballads. That's what I started writing. My first songs were ballads as well because I was really inspired by Shawn Mendes and Ed Sheeran and James Bay, Sam Tompkins, and so that's why all my first songs and most of my songs sound like that. Then Part-Time Lovers is a song that I really wanted something like Machine Gun Kelly, so I tried to write a song like that. So that's a more of like a punk pop song or rock song. I've also got a few ones that I rap on, but those are the songs that I'm featured on. And and so yeah, so I'd say I'm sorry and part-time lovers, but I've always tried to keep myself away from a specific genre. I'm trying to write more songs that are in different genres as well, but mainly from pop, mainly pop. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned it there, but like you're rapping, do you think you're going to keep that mostly to features, or do you think you could see yourself like coming out with an original rap song?
Yeah, well, yeah. The thing is that I'm not really that good at rapping. I always wanted to rap and I always wanted to release a rap album, but I'm no good at it. I've only got one song that is actually like pretty decent, and it's a funny story because I'm supposedly featured on that song, but it was actually stolen from me. So the story is that I met this guy, super talented, like the man is crazy, and I'll still say it to this day that he's absolutely insane. So I met him at a bar, or it was like an open mic, something like that. And so we started chatting. We started um, giving each other like tips and advices. And then I asked him, "Hey, like, do you want to write a song together? I've got something that I would love you on it." And he was like, "Yeah, yeah, sure. So come over to my place and we'll record it." So I came over to his place and recorded this verse and the chords to it. And then after we were done, I went back home and asked him, "Hey, can like when can I come back to finish the song with you?" And so he said, "Oh, I'm quite busy. I'm flying to South Africa, blah blah blah." And uh, and then like a week later, I see on his Instagram story he tagged me saying that the album is coming out with the song with me. I was like, "What's that about?" So I go on the album, the song is there. I'm a feature, and I'm not even in the credits. So
Mm-hmm.
so I was quite mad about that. And the song didn't even reach 1,000 streams. He didn't even register it. So I will be probably releasing that song as a solo project and finishing up on my own and just re-releasing it in a way. So
Yeah.
that's probably the rap song I'll be doing.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry that happened to you, but it's great that you're finding a way to sort of like reclaim that or like take it
Yeah.
back as yours. And so that's great. And I just want to ask, like, what overall goal would you say you have with music? You know, like some artists want to become like biggest in the world selling at arenas. Some just want this to be like the main income, like the way they're making money. So what goal do you have for your music?
Yeah, well, obviously, I would love to be a touring artist, one of the biggest ones. That's obviously the dream. But to be more realistic, I would love to earn or have as my full-time job being an artist. But as well, I would love to keep writing for other artists like I am currently. It's an amazing feeling that you can help somebody who's not famous or even is famous and help them reach that goal that or help them finalize their ideas and what they're trying to accomplish with the song, and having a part of you in that song as well is an amazing feeling. So I would definitely want to keep doing that, as well as obviously recording and releasing my own music. Maybe being a artist manager at a point, so, somewhere in the future, or maybe having my own record label. I'm not sure, but I'm trying to keep in the music industry. I'm trying to keep myself in the music industry and trying to be as an artist and a songwriter. That's the main goal.
Yeah, awesome. And is there one venue that you have in mind that you would love to perform your music at?
Oh, damn. That's a tough question because there's a lot of places. I'd love to perform at the Royal Albert Hall, maybe at the O2 Arena, or um, hmm, maybe as well as the. There's this one in the States. Madison Square Garden. That's where I'd love to perform. Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
But the
And
thing is that I say that I love to perform at those places, but I've only done a handful of performances, and on every single one of them, I was stressing and being really nervous and just absolutely wrecking the performance, and they were really rubbish. but I'm still gonna say that yeah, Madison Square Garden would be
Yeah.
amazing.
But I mean, at least you're getting the experience so that you can go out there and improve, hopefully each time and like learn
Yeah, yeah,
something
yeah.
more, start getting over those nerves. And so I'm sure
Yeah,
it
exactly.
helps. And
Yeah,
so
yeah, definitely.
who would you say are your three favorite like bands or artists just to listen to on a daily basis?
That is a very tough question. Obviously, it changes every year or so. But if I had to put in my like top three that I've been listening to over a decade, Shawn Mendes and Ed Sheeran definitely have to be there because I've always listened to them and they're always in my top five on Spotify. But another one that I've obviously listened to for years already, but is absolutely insane. But I've been listening to him um, for a shorter amount of time than I have been listening to Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran's always been there since I've been a kid. But Sam Tompkins, I'm not sure if you know him or not, but
I
he's a
haven't
UK
heard of
based.
them.
He's absolutely insane. His songwriting skills, his vocal skills are absolutely insane. They're the epitome of glorious and just amazing. He's absolutely insane. So I'd recommend to everybody to have a listen to Sam Tompkins. He's insane.
Awesome. Well, I'll definitely check them out. But this next question is probably gonna have a similar answer. Maybe it is Shawn Mendes or Ed Sheeran, but do you have an artist that you would like that would be a dream collaboration for you?
Yeah, obviously Sam Tompkins or Shawn Mendes, Ed Sheeran, that'd be amazing. But another artist I would love to collab with is Jacob Collier. He's absolutely insane, and I would love to be a part of the production and seeing how he writes it, how he makes up all the harmonies and all that. It'd be insane to work with him. That would definitely be amazing.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. And is there a song of yours or a song you've released that's like your favorite for whatever reason? Maybe it's the story of the song or like what went into making it, anything like that.
Right. Yeah. Well, it has to. I think it has to be Part-Time Lovers because it took me around a year to like finish the song lyrically and all that, and then to record it. It took me ages, but it was always a a favorite of all my friends and my family. They all loved it, and they still listen to it every day, even though it's not my most popular song. They love it, and the story behind it is a true story. Like the lyrics are true, and so that's why I really loved it, love it. And it was my first song that really sounded top notch and professional. Maybe production wise, it's not the best, but when I wrote it, all the lyrics and everything were one of my favorites. I even tattooed "Part-Time Lovers" on my thigh just to remember that. That was that first song that really people really loved and just kept nagging me to record it. So
Yeah,
it definitely
that's
has to be
awesome.
that.
And you mentioned getting that tattooed. I've seen like on your hands you have a bunch of tattoos. Do you have like a tattoo of yours that's your favorite?
No, not really. I mean, I like my son here. I've got a son
Hmm.
here. That took maybe now to do. It was my most painful one, but I feel like it's yeah, it has to be my son. Yeah, it's definitely my son. That's my favorite tattoo. Just looks really cool on my hand. But all the other ones, I do tattoos without a meaning. So there's no story behind any of the tattoos except my thigh. And I've got another one
Hmm.
here that's like a phrase that my granddad used to say, find the funnies. But yeah, I do tattoos without meanings because of like religious purposes and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. And so now I want to get a little bit more into your latest release. We just broke up with Filip Sterne. What sort of went into that song, the meaning behind this, like anything else you want to tell us about that song, feel free to say.
Yeah, right. So yeah, Philip's my best mate, one of my best mates. I met him on The Voice. Well, funny story is that I didn't actually meet him on The Voice, even though we were on the same edition. We only met met after the program ended. I don't know how that happened, but yeah. But writing with him is just so cool. And it started with Apple Cake. Apple Cake was the first song we wrote together, and we wrote it in a week and recorded the song in the same week as well. And we had the same idea with this one with We Just Broke Up. We just wanted a song that's also true and would fit the vibe of what we were going through because mom he used to live in Warsaw with me. Not we didn't live as flatmates, but he lived in Warsaw as well. So we'd meet up quite often, write songs, or just muck around. And then he moved to London recently, a few months ago, and so this was like our last opportunity to write something together and record it. So that's why we just broke up. Everybody thought that I broke up with my girlfriend. Uh, so that was a bit confusing. I was trying to tell my friends, no, it's just the title of the song. I didn't break up with my girlfriend, nor did he. But it was supposed to mean that, we're going our separate ways now. He's going to London, pursuing his dreams, and I'm staying here. And so we obviously put our true stories of our breakups. So he put his breakup. I don't know which was his, and my breakup was a few breakups in one story. Yeah, somehow that's what I usually do because my previous relationships weren't that long, didn't last that long, so I wouldn't have too much to write about one person. So yeah, and
Yeah,
then
but it's
we
like
just,
it's that whole blending like truth and fiction of like, I have had breakups. These things or these feelings did happen. It was just not one singular one. It was like multiple.
yeah.
And so it's cool that you're taking inspiration in that way of like grabbing bits and pieces from all these experiences.
Yeah, exactly. I need to have something to work with because if I were to look at only one relationship, I wouldn't have enough to write a whole song about. Maybe if I milked it, but that's why I just rather combine a few stories that have a similar ending or a similar beginning, and then I can have a longer story, a longer song from it. So yeah, that's what we did with We Just Broke Up, and I personally love the song. I don't know how other people look at it because we didn't have that good of a reaction from it as we did with Apple Cake, but I still feel like it's a good song at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. And as we start to wrap up, I have one or two more questions, but just what is sort of coming up next for you? We talked about this like ballad dance song coming up, but is there anything else that, fans can sort of expect or get excited for coming up?
Yeah, well, definitely this year, I'll be releasing more solo projects, so more songs just me without any collaborators or anything like that. I'm also thinking I've got some time until I can send in my um submission to perform on the Eurovision. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing that or not. I've got like a week or so to decide, but we'll see. Might do it next year, but yeah, definitely more solo releases and maybe possibly more Netflix productions. But we'll see if that works out. And yeah, that's basically it. Just grinding, still grinding.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I'll definitely stay tuned for those. Other people listening should as well. And the last thing that I have before you go is just a segment that I've been doing to end off these episodes called Know Your Stuff, where I'm gonna play like small snippets of your music and stuff like that, and you just, try to name the song and then tell us anything that we maybe didn't get to, like the story behind it, who was involved, things like that, like anything that you want to bring up that we just didn't touch on during the interview.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so here's the first one.
So many times.
That's I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. It's a brilliant song, but I'm quite mad that I released it that early. Because the story is that I was supposed to get a like mad promotion for it from from a manager, but she never did anything. I paid her a lot, which for me it was a lot. It was around maybe $300 or something like that, maybe more, and nothing happened from it. She didn't do anything. So that song is still on 1,000 streams, but the beat was produced by a South Korean producer, um, Stone So Wavy, excellent producer, amazing guy. So yeah, that's
Awesome.
it.
Awesome. Yeah. And so this next one that I got.
Hmm.
I tried to run, you tripped.
Oh yeah, so that's Silence. That's my
Yeah.
first song that I've released. Um, I don't know why people like actually genuinely like that song a lot. I hate it
You
because it's
don't?
so yeah. I don't like the production. Obviously, I didn't have a lot of budget. I made it with a friend of mine in back in my hometown. He's amazing. I love the guy, but obviously it's not the same level as people do here in Warsaw, and it's not like radio ready or anything. And it's quite a basic production. Obviously, that's what I wanted. I told him, I don't want any extra sounds. I just want a guitar and vocals, and that's it. Um, but yeah, so that was my first song that I released, and so it's sentimental, but it's not one of my favorite ones. But yeah,
Yeah.
and
And
it was a
well,
fake story. That was the song that I wrote about. It's a fake story. It's nothing was true in that song.
yeah, but it's, you have to start somewhere. So it's always good to have this
Yeah,
reminder of like, okay, here's where I started, not exactly the quality I want, not the authenticity that I want, but I've grown from there and, gotten better with those things. So,
yeah, exactly.
all right. And then the last song I have for you here.
All right, that's it.
Look what I found. Bunch of flowers, pictures of us fucking around.
That's a song for my friends. That was
Yeah.
the song that I can't remember where I wrote it. So yeah, I remember I wrote it back in 2022 when I was still living at my mum's house, just a few months before I moved out. And it was a song that I wrote about, yeah, all of my friends. That's why it's called Song for My Friends. And it was about us all moving out because we are all ready to move out for uni and all that. So, and everybody was moving out to a different town, different city, and some people even went abroad. Then others stayed in our hometown. Sorry, fly was flying here. And so yeah, I wanted to write something for all of them and to say how grateful I am that I had these friendships and relationships as well. But knowing at the back of my head that I'm probably not going to talk to any of these friends anytime soon, and I might not
Yeah.
even see them ever again. So it's just a song to to remember about them. You know?
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Daniel, thank you so much for coming on. Those are all the questions I
Thanks
had for
for
you
having me.
today. So thank you so much for coming on. And where can people find you or your music online? Anything you want to promote, go ahead and do it
Yeah,
now.
you can find me on Spotify, Daniel Hawes, Hawes. You can find me on Instagram as well, Daniel Hawes Official, and on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, I think. Maybe I have a Twitter, I can't remember now. But yeah, thank you so much for having me, mate. It was such a privilege. It's my first podcast, so yeah, I'll always remember you. I also always remember you, mate.
Yeah, well, first podcast, but you did a great job. So thank you so
Uh,
much
Not much.
for coming in, and I just hope you remember me more fondly than you do Silence.
Nah, yeah, I will. I definitely will. I definitely will. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me, mate.